Hey guys, and welcome back to another Super Mario 64 challenge video right here on TetraBitGaming, where we take on the N64 Classic in various, often unconventional ways. A while ago, after much pain and struggle, I was able to beat Super Mario 64 using a Rock Band drum kit, and since then, I've gotten an absolute truckload of you requesting that I move to the next instrument and try to beat it with a Rock Band or Guitar Hero controller. So here we are. Now, although I may not be playing through this game in the most comfortable way here, those of you playing the 3D All-Stars version on the Switch can be, with this video sponsor, satisfied. I was sent over their ZeniGrip Pro Elite bundle, which comes with this thick case, which can hold it all, your Switch, like 20 games, and of course a plethora of accessories. Oh yeah, not to mention the ZeniGrip, which you can easily slide your Switch into to make your portable play session that much more comfortable, except you're probably better than I am and you can pull this jump off here. It's also really cool because you can stand up your Switch in this case, and honestly it makes it much more stable than with the Switch's kickstand. They also offer a lower profile slimline for the Switch and Switch Lite, and even some Animal Crossing themed grips as well. They're having a back to school sale right now, but on top of that, if you use my link at the top of the description with code TETRA10 at checkout, you can also stack an additional 10% off of your order. So if you're interested in making your portable play sessions that much more comfortable with a spiffy case to boot, be sure to check them out. Anyways, with all of that said, it's time to shred and save Peach once again in 3, 2, 1. Although the game starts out with the usual familiarities like Peach's letter and the intro cutscene, as soon as Mario jumped out of the pipe, it was clear this wasn't going to be super easy. Before we start, let's quickly break down the controls I set up for this challenge. Strumming up and down is set to the respective direction on the control stick. Green fret is A, red is B, yellow is left, blue is right, orange is the Z button, the whammy bar here is C up, and this little nub on the bottom here is set to the left and right C buttons. Anyways, after talking shop with Lakitu here, it's time to head on inside the castle to start the grind over at Bob-omb Battlefield. After hopping in, I just wanted to take a little bit of time to practice playing with the controller, and before I knew it, I was already able to pull off some of my usual movement paths. For the first star, let's have a tussle up here with King Bob-omb. Normally this fight isn't hard at all for me, but with this guitar, I started to struggle to run around him. On the other hand, it was pretty easy to break out of his grasp though. After channeling my quadruple digit IQ to process what buttons I had to press, I was able to sneak behind the king for 3 throws, and just like that, we have our first star. Next is usually what's one of the easiest stars here, the one behind the chain chomp. I didn't want to bother with trying to clip into the cage with a box or a Bob-omb, as I thought doing it normally would be easier, but it wasn't. It was super difficult to not only move Mario to the pole, but to also jump on top of it and then ground pound. Honestly, if it wasn't for this crazy dodge, I probably would have died. Thankfully, I was able to come clutch with 3 really quick ground pounds, and there we go, star number 2. Skipping up to Peach's secret slide, I wasn't able to quite get the speedrun strat here, but either way, that's another quick, easy star down. Now moving on to the next stage, Wobb's Fortress, I was feeling pretty confident in my skills, so I thought it would be a slick idea to try and get this star stuck in the wall cannonless. After what seemed like a lengthy setup and having to hold the guitar really awkwardly, I failed. But only once, as on the second attempt... Let's go! Oh my god, dude! Let's go indeed. Next, I felt like a 2-for-1 combo, so I went for the red coin and 100 Coinstar together. I mean, I don't actually feel like doing it with this controller, but I'm following my normal speedrun route for these splits, so yeah, I guess I gotta deal with it. This was surprisingly tough, as the tight areas like this one were really easy to fall off of. After painstakingly getting up to the floating islands up here and collecting some more coins, that's another 2 stars down, so I guess the pain was worth it after all. Luckily for me, on the other hand, the next star here was only a quick wall kick away. The Womp King was no trouble at all as usual, nor was climbing the tower at the top or dropping into the cage here. And with those stars down, our star count is up now to double-digit territory. Things are looking pretty good. Next, I tried to get the star on Peach's secret slide for beating it in under 21 seconds, and at first I failed by only 0.2 seconds, but then on the other hand, the next time I beat it by 0.2 seconds, so I guess the universe kind of balanced itself out here. The light is shining down in the foyer, so let's glance up to get spirited away to the Tower of the Wing Cap. Although initially I missed the first coin pair, I quickly recovered and was able to barely grab all 8 red coins in time for yet another star. Now with 12 stars in our pockets, let's crack open the first star door and head on down to the first Bowser stage. Once again, I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to keep following my speedrun route, cause now we have to go out and collect all 8 red coins here, which wasn't super fun. Had to take some extra care getting around, the side-to-side wall kicks were surprisingly pretty challenging, but after a while, I got all 8 red coins, grabbed the star, and now down the pipe we go. Not to brag, but I was getting pretty good at controlling Mario with the guitar at this point, so running around Bowser to grab his tail wasn't nearly as hard as picking up King Babam was at the start. Missed some Bowser throws at first, but then, bop, Bowser 1 is down. Although with the first key, we can already head down into the basement, let's first hit up Cool Mountain, eh? First, I dropped down to awkwardly wall kick my way up to the star here. Then I channeled my inner Santa Claus and then slid down the slide for another pretty easy star. Then time to do the slide again, but this time racing against the thick penguin lad. Surprisingly, I somehow managed to beat him on my first try, but I got distracted and somehow not only forgot to pick up the star for winning the race, but also managed to fall off and die outside. Pretty impressive for someone who plays this game almost weekly. I don't know how I was able to beat the penguin the first time, but it took several more grueling attempts to do it again. I just kept falling and yeah, let's just say that that's a star I'm happy to be done with. I usually don't get that star either on my speedruns, so I guess we're now officially straying from my normal route. Hooray. Delivering Tuxie to her mama was super annoying, as either I'd make the jump and Tuxie would fall off, or vice versa. Then I did an incredibly funny joke that no one has ever made on YouTube and dropped the penguin off the side. Hahaha, please laugh. Now I didn't think anything of this at first, but what's this? The mama penguin is actually standing right under the star and it's preventing me from getting it? I guess it's karma for literally yeeting her child off the edge, so understandable. Thankfully enough, after enough messing around, I did manage to get it though. Ugh, that was a close one. Snow out, ghosts in. Here at Big Boo's haunt, although not nearly as easy or quick, I was surprisingly able to pull off some speedrun tricks like wall kicking up here to the second floor. I took out the Big Boo on the balcony and then fell off several times before grabbing star 18, and then star 19 was just a quick hop, skip, and jump away. Alright, now time to finally use our key and head on down to the basement. I normally hate having to grab MIPs, and here was no exception, as using this controller coupled with Lakitu's subpar camera movement made this star not very enjoyable. But you know how it is, after a while I managed to grab the Wascally Wabbit. Then my Twitch chat watched me try to order a sold-out graphics card that I've been waiting to get for over a week as it went back in stock, so I quickly tried to get it, but yeah, no, it went out of stock almost instantly, so that made me pretty happy. I think that's a nice segue to a shameless plug. If you'd like to join the chat and watch, give tips, and support me in these challenges, be sure to follow me over on Twitch where I occasionally do these. Link will be down in the description, and I hope to see you in the next one. Okay, we're moving on. I hate sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Like in the talons of Klepto here alongside the star we just nabbed. Nice. Riding the shell around to touch the top of the 4 pillars to open up the top of the pyramid was pretty annoying, and I even had to circle back a few times, but this sure beats climbing up the inside of the pyramid to get the star normally. Then I got the star on the side of the pyramid, and yeah, I think that's about enough for this course. Now on to Lethal Lava Land, and first, of course, you know I had to go and do the log skip. On my first try, I dove too far down and unfortunately bonked into a fiery death, but somehow on the second go, I just barely made my way onto the platform to be able to grab the star. Then I quickly slapped around the big bully, got the 8 red coin star on the puzzle, the 2 in the pyramid, and I bopped all of the bullies here. I even almost got the speedrun strat to quickly kill the big one. Close enough. And hey, that's the first course where we got all non-100 coin stars in. I'll take that. The cave with the hazy maze is up. Well, no, actually, let's first grab the freebie star from this fool. Then in the cave, I first wanted to skip up to the star above the pit here, and the wall jump here was certainly not easy. This mostly stemmed from not having a good angle to wall jump thanks to the Lakitu camera, but eventually after countless attempts, I just barely made it up, squared myself up to the star, and took a leap of faith. Thankfully, it paid off. Then I watched for rolling rocks to get the star up here, clipped down to Dory to get the star on the island, And then also did the Metalhead Mario Can Move star here to bring our star count up to a beefy 34, with which we can now open up the second star door and dive down into Dire Docks. Swam for some chests in the current, and then I boarded Bowser's Sub for 2 more relatively alright stars, I guess. Then I tried to get the star here in the jet stream, but this stage was lagging a lot, making it super difficult to pull off the perfect swimming required to get the star without the metal cap. I'm not writing this one off as impossible per se, but I tried for a long time and I wasn't really getting anywhere, so I just decided to move on. Kinda demoralizing, but let's now head on down to Bowser in the Fire Sea. This stage was honestly quite tough to get around in with this controller. Like, just jumping around without touching lava was tough. I was also convinced to get all the red coins here, so that gives us yet another star at the top. Then after strumming all the way up, time to jump on into this big green pipe thing and square up against Bowser 2. This fight wasn't any more crazy or difficult than the first one, though I did survive literally drowning in lava, so that was pretty cool. But after another bada bing, Bowser 2 is out and the second key is acquired. Now at this point, I'm saying screw it to my usual speedrun routes. I mean, I messed up the splits a long time ago, am using save states, and yeah, let's just go get some easier stars. So after quickly grabbing the 8 red coins and resulting star in the secret aquarium, let's backtrack to Jolly Roger Bay. Getting into the ship, the chests, and climb up was pretty easy. I missed the star on the Unagi's tail at first, but then somehow got it later. Thanks, Super Mario 64 hitbox. Then, after once again trying and failing to perfect swim for the star in the jet stream in this course, I entered the cave to touch the 4 chests there for star number 41. Now with all these stars, time to finally open the next key door and head on up to the 3rd floor. As usual, first up here is Wet Dry World. The star near the arrow lifts was super easy as usual. Getting the star at the top wasn't super easy, but also definitely doable. And the 5 secret star was cake. The only star that really gave me trouble here was the express elevator one, in which you have to go all the way up, activate the elevator to go down, and then jump back on it in time before it leaves. I just kept failing a wall jump to try and get onto it, and I didn't make it in time several times. This was getting really frustrating, but thankfully I was getting really good at getting back up really fast, so I guess it could have been worse. Then eventually I barely made it onto the elevator, rode it up, and finally after this course we are up to 45 stars, just 25 to go. After taking a short break to open some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Tiny Huge Island is up. Plucked some piranhas, touched all 5 secret spots and got the resulting star here. Then I easily drained the water and bopped Wiggler over the head 3 times and finally got the star near the top of the mountain here for a relatively painless 4 extra stars. After yet another freebie star from the Toad up here, time to trek up Tall Mountain. Well, the trek was thankfully made much shorter since to my surprise I was able to clip up to the midsection pretty easily still with this controller. So first I fandangled my way up to the top for the star there, then although I wasn't planning on it, I bounced off the fly guy and just barely made it over the obstacles to float down to the lone star on the mushroom. Then after failing a few times before grabbing the star behind the waterfall, lastly here I did a quick jump kick here to skip the slide for this star. I guess you could say I got the hang of playing this game with a Guitar Hero controller at this point. The strong momentum continued in Snowman's Land. Got the star in the ice sculpture with ease, wall kicked my way up to the snowman's fat head, and although I messed up the quick route, I managed to get up here to get the star in the box, as well as the shell to get the red coin star, and I botched the chill bully fight at first, but still kicked that sucker down to size. Overall, yet another quick and dirty 5 extra stars. Next, after opening up this here star door, it's time for some tick-tock clock. Since it's super easy to mess up and fall to my death here, I have to take extra care when jumping around. I decided to do the hardest star at the top first and then work my way down to the easier stars, so after taking much precaution, I made my way up to the top at a snail's pace. I was also getting pretty parched at this point, so I of course had to stop and hydrate. Way at the top, now I have to do a triple jump into a wall kick, something I often have trouble doing with a normal controller. I messed up several times, but after I did get it, the last segment was a nice reprieve from the pain it took to get up here. Then I rushed to get the star in the cage, the one near the pendulums, the one in this cage, the one here, barely, and finally the 8 red Coinstar. Honestly, these all weren't too bad when I just took my time. Now, of course, to my dismay, time to revisit one of my least favorite courses in the castle, Rainbow Ride. But I must say, after learning some speedrun strats, this stage has become a lot more bearable over the past few months. That said, the star in the breeze wasn't bad, nor was the tricky triangle one really. I even got it on my first try, surprisingly. The 8 red coins weren't much worse, and although it took a while to get, the star on the cruiser is ours, and now we are up to 69 stars. You know what that means. We say no to Toad offering us the last star we need, and we're heading up to the endless stairs to attempt the coveted backwards long jump, or BLJ. I tried a few times, but I felt that I just wasn't able to press A fast enough. So I tried to do some weird, awkward setup to try and hold down the strum bar and tap the A button with both hands, but yeah, that just didn't work out. So finally, I just decided to go back and do it the normal way, and I just don't know if I'm pressing it fast. Okay, well there we go, fellas. Yet another BLJ is in the books. Although we can chalk that up as a W, the challenge isn't quite over yet, so let's grab star 70, head on up, and let's go crush Bowser. Like most challenges I've done with different controllers, at this point in the challenge I've gotten pretty dang comfortable with controlling the game with the Guitar Hero controller. So I wish I could tell you that I had some trouble somewhere in the stage, but yeah, a few hops later we're already at the pipe and let's go, time to fight Bowser 3. The first 2 throws were just as challenging as the other ones I've done thus far, but as usual, the last one is the one that gives me the most trouble. Oh yeah, I guess I haven't really shown you the process of throwing Bowser yet. Oops. So I had to just alternate the yellow and blue buttons with strumming up and down. It was tough to get going at the start, but after getting into the rhythm, it wasn't so bad. Oftentimes though, even if I messed up once, it would completely throw off my timing and would cause Mario to slow down, and sometimes even start spinning Bowser in the opposite direction. I didn't experience it until this last throw because I haven't really had to make any super long throws, but taking the time to stop my spinning rhythm just to press the red fret really slowed down the spin speed. So even when I would get the angle right, I just wasn't able to throw Bowser quite far enough. But then, after many failed attempts, kaboom! Bowser is down for the count, at least until the next Super Mario 64 challenge, and finally we have the last star. So just like that, I'm happy to say that yes, beating Super Mario 64 is possible with a Guitar Hero controller. And that's another challenge in the books. As usual, this certainly wasn't the most relaxing or comfortable way to play through the game, but I'm always happy to try it out in new, unconventional ways, and I'm even more happy that I was able to finish it in less than 5 hours to boot. Maybe someday I'll take the next step and try to beat this game with a real guitar. But I hope you enjoyed this challenge. As always, if you did, be sure to slap a like down below and check out some of my other challenges by clicking on the card right here. As always, thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you in a bit.